Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So I want to talk a little bit about Kingdom Hearts Missing Link's pricing scheme, the MTX and microtransaction side of the game. This is something that has concerned me since the inception of the game, knowing that this is another Kingdom Hearts mobile game coming from Square Enix, and just knowing the track record that Union Cross had with its MTX. I haven't really been too optimistic about how Square Enix are going to approach this aspect of the game. Now, obviously, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is a free-to-play gacha title. It's a live service title that's going to receive constant updates, and there is no charge to actually play the game. So Square Enix will need to make income through this in order to keep development alive. That's totally understandable. But again, through the egregious pricing schemes of Union Cross, it does have me worried that the same will be present for Missing Link. Now, I am going to be talking about the information that I got towards a few of the systems that are going to be in Missing Link, or at least planned to be based on the build of the game from May of last year. And this is stepping into the realm of leaks. So I want to talk about that real quick. I've been thinking a lot over the past few days since I uploaded the video, talking about the Missing Link leak situation and how I got in contact with someone who's been able to data mine the May build. I said in that video that I'm no longer going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts leaks, and the feedback was really interesting. Quite divided from what I can tell. Some people are in agreement that I shouldn't cover leaks, but the other half, from what I'm seeing, are kind of disappointed that I'm not going to anymore. And again, I've been thinking long and hard about this, because if I look at the history of my content over the past 10 plus years of covering Kingdom Hearts content, leak discussion has been something that has been not an integral part, but at least a part of the content that I provide here on this channel. We've talked about numerous Kingdom Hearts leaks over the course of time. So I'm going to be revising the statement that I made a few days ago. I will continue to cover Kingdom Hearts leaks. However, these will only be surface level leaks. I'm talking about if there is something mentioned about a potential release window, something mentioned about a system to do with the gameplay of a Kingdom Hearts title. For instance, if there were to be a leaked gameplay clip, there's no way in hell I'd actually show the leaked footage, but I would definitely talk about some of the new stuff that is present within it. If there were to be a world, let's say Sora running around in Treasure Planet for Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm not going to mention the actual world. I don't want to ruin anyone's excitement over a reveal that would be that substantial, but I would definitely talk about some of the new things, minor and smaller gameplay systems that would be present. Stuff that doesn't necessarily spoil people per se in the realm of narrative related stuff. I am a Kingdom Hearts news and information channel. I focus on entertainment and information, and leaks are a part of that aspect of things. I've also been able to maintain a pretty good relationship with Square Enix over the course of time, even though I have indulged in this type of content on the channel, and I don't really see any reason to stop doing it now, especially if it's a means of me trying to please a couple of the Kingdom Hearts content creators in this community. I'm not going to allow anyone in this space to dictate what I should and shouldn't be doing. Admittedly though, the stuff that I did post about Missing Link, given that it was within high and heavy spoiler territory for the story of that game, yes, I shouldn't have posted that, and again, I apologize for it. While many people prefer to learn about information like this directly from the official source itself, there is also a good portion, dare I even say the majority of people, that like to know things from time to time if they so happen to arise. And I'm understanding this given my history based on the feedback that I've received recently. Okay, so let's talk about Missing Link. So just keep in mind that all information that I'm about to present is tentative. It's based off an old version of the game, and everything here is, of course, subject to change. But basically within the game's files, does remain some information about some of the different purchasable packs that you will be able to buy via the store. Now, the way that Kingdom Hearts Union Cross handled its MTX was by jewels, the premium currency that could be used to pull from banners to receive medals, the abilities in the game. They could also be used to purchase avatar boards that would give you passive bonuses along with cosmetics for your character. There was also a VIP system. The VIP system was, I believe, 15 US a week, which is insanely priced. And that would give you access to additional content, quests that would garner you further resources, a quest that might give you a medal straight up for completing it. It basically just unlocks more content and allows people to get further ahead. So it kind of looks like it's going to be the same, and Tetsuya Nomura did mention that Missing Link is going to have some type of a subscription system. This doesn't come as a surprise. Now, all of what you guys can see on the screen right now are the purchasable options within the store. But however, there is no prices, so we can't actually judge this entirely. Let's first of all talk about these subscriptions: the Advance Pass, Premium Plan, and Weekly Plan. Now, looking at the Advance Pass, basically in the game there are some quests or systems in order to acquire coins known as activity coins. Now, every player gets access to the basic pass, as you guys can see right here. This image is from my friend Sai, who participated in the beta, and these coins can then be spent in a shop to purchase items like potions, treasure tickets. Treasures are collected out in the GPS world and can be returned to the treasure Moogle. You then have to wait in order to open the treasure chest. It might be 18 hours until it opens so that you can receive some loot from inside. A treasure ticket is going to skip that entirely. There's also pull tickets that can be purchased with these coins and AP, the core resource of this game. So the Advance Pass basically just allows you to accumulate more of these activity coins. Looking at the Premium and Weekly Plan, I would say this is more along the lines of Union Cross's VIP system. Now, I think that a VIP type subscription model setup is totally fine for games like this. It's unfortunate, but it does come expected. The issue, though, more so lies in how much this subscription model actually costs. And again, going back to Union Cross's, 15 US a week is insanity. A gacha game can seemingly get away with charging you $15 for some additional content in order to get ahead of players. Yet if Fortnite or Overwatch were to start charging $15 a week for mini battle passes, you know we would never hear the end of it. I don't know why this has been accepted within gacha games. It's a little bit concerning. So looking at the Premium and Weekly Plan, weekly, just like VIP, you pay per week to get access to the plan, or Premium might be a monthly payment. Though if you decide to go with Premium, it might work out a little bit cheaper. That's generally how a lot of these companies do their subscription models. Pay for a longer duration and get a 20% discount. So straight off the bat, that is already 2 intended subscription services for this game. Now, obviously, we don't know the actual difference between the Premium Plan and Weekly Plan. I'd like to think that the Premium Plan would also include the Advance Pass. The duration actually might be the exact same as the Weekly, but the Premium, while it only lasts for a week, also means you get the Advance Pass for maybe $5 additional. But I am dreading to find out what the actual cost of these passes will be. You'll also notice here that there is a 3-star King Mickey pack that you can purchase, which means that you can outright buy character pieces within the shop. Now, this is a one-time only thing, so you can't buy multiple in order to further strengthen the piece. That's good. This could possibly insinuate that Square Enix might plan on selling individual pieces, which, if I'm being honest, isn't actually a bad idea, considering that people are always trying to get one specific thing, and for some people it might end up costing them well over $100 in order to get the one thing they want from a banner. So rather than trusting RNG gods, you can just straight up purchase a piece. I don't really see this being any different than buying a skin on Fortnite or in something like Overwatch. The problem is, though, again, it's sort of like, well, if you have the money, you could get a really good character piece. And that's not great if there is going to be ranked multiplayer components to the game. This might just simply be an introductory thing to the game, where they're offering some pieces maybe for a few weeks to help players get ahead for the beginning. It might not be a continuous thing that Square Enix decide to do throughout the life cycle of the game. UX didn't really have this where you could straight up buy medals. You did have VIP though, which would give you access to quests that would guarantee you pretty strong medals, to be honest. And in a way, that's kind of like just straight up purchasing a medal, plus you get additional bonuses. One thing I've been curious to know is if AP is going to be actually purchasable, and in a strange way, I guess you could say it is. If you purchase the advanced pass, you're going to be accumulating more activity coins, and in return, you can spend those activity coins on AP. So you kind of can there, but there are quite literally packs here, Jewel and AP Pack A and B, allowing you to purchase AP. For those that don't know, AP is the resource that is used in order to play the GPS mode, the core gameplay function of Missing Link, without actually needing to physically go out in the world. If you decide to go out into the real world and play the GPS function, again, not requiring AP, doing any activities or engaging in that content physically rather gives you AP. So pretty much, the more AP someone has, the more content they can engage in within Missing Link. So this leads to the possibility of someone being able to throw money at this game for AP to basically just play it endlessly. We know there's going to be a lot of grinding from the feedback that I was given from Sai. It seems, at least as far as the beta is concerned, if you are looking to strengthen all aspects of your characters, then grinding is absolutely in the equation. Again, not surprising, this is the nature of gacha games. Now, what's not known is if the Jewel and AP pack is a one-time purchase, or if you can just continually buy it. Raid tickets will also be sold, though this is mentioned as a raid ticket plus. In order to engage in raids in Missing Link, which is one of the multiplayer components of the game, and obviously giving you access to the stronger boss fights, you do require a raid ticket. Now, this is a raid ticket plus, so this makes me think that this is a ticket that needs to be purchased or may also be acquirable by playing the game in order to access maybe an enhanced version of a raid. So you're also able to buy treasure tickets, which again is another system here where it's like, if you've got the money, you can purchase a ticket so that you don't have to wait. Basically meaning that if you've got a bulk load of treasure chests, let's say 30 treasure chests, some of which do contain pretty good items, you could just throw a bunch of money at the screen and open them all. Of course, you'd be losing a lot of money, but so far this isn't great because there are definitely some pay-to-win elements here. There is also the Enemy Call Pack Plus. Now, Enemy Call is a bell item that you can find in the game, and it attracts more enemies to you while you're out in GPS mode. Basically meaning that using this item means that you're going to be able to fight a greater number of enemies. You can effectively spawn enemies with this item, and there is an option here to straight up buy these. This is a plus version though, so I'm not sure how a plus version would differ from the normal version. But this insinuates that you can spend money to spawn enemies, which in return will get you more experience and more materials. Now, just important to keep in mind here that there is no information on whether or not there is a certain buy limit to any of these packs. So for instance, maybe it might be a thing where you can only buy the AP pack, the Heartless Call pack, and Quick Treasure pack once per week. There might be cooldowns to these things. Now, looking at all of the jewel packs right here, they are quite interesting. If we're looking at just the standard jewel packs that will always be available in the store, it ranges from 160, which I believe was the same in Union Cross, and goes up to a maximum of 10,000. You'll also notice that there is plus bonus. So a lot of the jewel packs in Union Cross, there was always a plus bonus, whether you received an additional anywhere from 5 to 20% jewels. And obviously this increases depending on the size of the jewel pack. So like looking at 10,000 for example, you'd likely receive either 1,000 or 2,000 additional jewels. This is interesting though, because the biggest jewel pack that you could buy in UX was actually 15,000, and that costed 100 US dollars. I think for me, it was something like 160 bucks, which again is insane, because even just looking at that, that doesn't get you much at all. I think that's something like 4 or 5 pulls from a 3,000 jewel banner. Most of the banners throughout Union Cross, at least looking at the new ones that contained the medals that like people needed and wanted, all cost 3,000. Now again, there are going to be means of free to play. By just simply playing the game, doing dailies, you can acquire jewels just as you did in Union Cross. And Square Enix sort of got better at this, the free to play aspect of Union Cross, over the course of time. Still though, by the end, it wasn't like good enough in my opinion, but it never is when it comes to these gacha titles. Considering 15,000 isn't there though, that makes me feel pretty good. Like, who knows, it might end up being, but seeing that 10,000 is the highest, at least looking at the regular packs, that's kind of a good sign. There's also a bunch of first time jewels plus bonus. So I would say for all of these packs right here, and there's a whole bunch of different sizes, you'll only be able to purchase these one time. There are also launch celebration jewel packs, and one of these goes up to a max of 15,000, though this would be a temporary jewel pack that you can buy for the launch of the game. And no doubt these would likely be discounted. It's interesting that these are launch celebration jewels though. This kind of tells us that, at least looking at the May build of last year, that was a build that was very close to the actual full game if they already have MTX packs within the game's files that mentions launch. We at least know that looking at May and June, those were the months that pre-registration likely should have begun. Just going off of the Memorial Wafer packs that had a little missing link card inside of them mentioning that, looking at Japan, pre-registration was already open. I would say that the original plan for Missing Link, the game was likely probably meant to release in September of last year. Now, Missing Link is going to apparently feature some ranked tournaments. This, again, is another multiplayer component of the game. This is the information here. You can see master ranking and then ranking battle. It ranges from 1 all the way to 10 and goes into global preliminaries A, B, global semifinals, and I'm assuming that last one there is finals. Now, Union Cross did have a ranked multiplayer component that was either the current ranking of the unions, which Volpe's was absolutely always ahead, and this was dependent on how much Lux was being accumulated by everyone in a specific union. Because Volpe's clearly contained all of the whales and all of the people that were playing non-stop, they were just constantly ahead. There was also PvP ranks as well, and depending on how well you did in PvP, there was a leaderboard ranking. Depending on your position, you would be rewarded accordingly. So there's likely going to be a similar thing here. We don't know if PvP is going to be in Missing Link, but there will be a ranking system of some kind. And they are mentioned as ranked battles. Don't know if it's PvE, don't know if it's PvP. There is going to be a reward system depending on whereabouts you rank, and apparently you also need a pass to participate in ranked stuff. So again, I don't know if this is going to be something tied into monetization or it's something you can randomly collect. I'm going to take a wild guess and say monetization. But considering all of this information, the fact that there is a ranking system of some kind, and looking at the MTX of the game with the current tentative information that we have, Missing Link absolutely comes across as pay to win. Is this surprising? I mean, no, it's not. For any gacha game that's got multiplayer components to it, I mean, it's just to be expected that likely the game is pay to win. I totally understand that with how ambitious Missing Link is, considering it's a mobile phone game, like obviously a lot of time and resources need to be put into the development of this game to keep it ongoing, and so Square Enix do need to make a certain amount of money back. In fact, most likely quite a lot, given what this game is. This has actually been one of the core aspects that's concerned me a lot about Missing Link, just because it is free to play but also so ambitious at the same time. It definitely looks like a really cool mobile phone game experience, considering what mobile phone games usually are. But the more ambitious and crazier looking the title is, the more money needs to be collected in order to keep development going. We have no idea what the actual prices of any of these passes, tickets, or packs actually are, so we can't make a final judgment until we actually see the figure. But the money to jewel ratio for Union Cross was awful. Like, it genuinely was awful. Here's the thing though, a lot of people still purchase stuff within Union Cross, meaning that it didn't really signal to Square Enix to have to reduce prices of their MTX. The service actually lasted quite a while, like I believe it was 8 or 7 years. If the game was a financial failure, it would have ended service a lot quicker. So even if prices are absolutely egregious, I mean, people are still purchasing this stuff, and I really don't think it will be any different here for Missing Link. Another aspect of the game, while it's not mentioned here within the files so far from the information I have that I believe will be monetized, will be the outfits and customization, just the same as Union Cross. The customization of Missing Link is really cool. It's really deep. You can change the colors of different pieces of clothing and accessories. There's a bunch of stuff you can mix and match. It's now a 3D game. There's definitely more incentive and more want for customization in Missing Link than there was UX. And they will absolutely monetize this, but do know that there are different means of playing the game by doing quests to unlock pieces of clothing. I also feel though that Square Enix will tie in exclusive pieces of clothing into those ranked battles. Those potentially might be one of the rewards. This would further encourage people to spend more money to get better stuff, to strengthen their characters, to guarantee them a high spot within the rankings to get these exclusive items. By the way, talking about these rankings, it's mentioned here that it seems as if the ranked tournaments will go on for about 2 months. So these seasons will last 2 months. That means that people have like 2 months worth of time to spend a lot of money. So that's all of the information that I currently have on the monetization aspect of Missing Link. Definitely some interesting stuff, but again, it's too early to actually make a judgment call as to whether or not this is egregious. We also have to take into account what the free-to-play side of the game will look like. And until the game actually releases, whenever that might be, we won't know how that actually works and how that compares to the monetization that's in place for this product. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. As always, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Slap that like button, it helps me out more than you know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Big thank you to my wonderful patrons. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.